Do you recommend those sound canceller things when filming audio that go on the walls? So when you are filming video or audio and you're in a space that's a little bit echoey, there are some things that you can do to make sure that you are pulling back on the echo so that it has that more muted sound and it's not bouncing around in your videos, which is very noticeable. Now, I always like to bootstrap things. What is the easiest and simplest solution for what I am doing? If you are a content creator, if you're doing YouTube videos, if you're doing TikToks, if you're doing voiceovers, I don't necessarily recommend you going out of your way to buy soundproofing materials to put up on your walls or around your room. That's expensive and you can do it in a bootstrappy kind of way. In order to muffle that sound so that it's not bouncing between hardwood floors and ceilings or bouncing off of walls, it can be as easy as putting a blanket on the floor, putting pillows on the floor, putting a comforter around. If it's bouncing off of your desk, you can create things around you to muffle it. Different objects absorb sound a little bit differently. So if you're on a crowded desk, it's going to absorb a lot of that sound, and it's going to be different than if you are on a big empty desk in a big empty room. So I just filmed an interview with somebody, and I'm in my office space, and I've got a great big giant area that doesn't have anything because that's what I use to move my stuff around to film. And as I'm doing things, it can pick up my voice and bounce it off of the ceilings and off of the floor. So in order to combat that, I just took a knitted blanket and I threw it out on the floor. It can cover the entire floor, it can cover part of the floor. The more you cover, the more it's going to absorb that sound so that it's not bouncing around and being weird for you. I recommend bootstrapping. Look at what you have around the house. Carpets, you can have bath mats, you can have blankets, you can have pillows, you can throw coats out. If you have your winter sweaters and you're not using them, grab them and throw them on the floor. Your job here is just to muffle that sound, and I don't want you spending a ton of money unnecessarily. If, however, you're doing something like audiobook narration and it's your professional job, then yes, I do recommend soundproofing materials to make sure you have a professional space. If this is something you're going to be doing a lot, highly recommend. But if you're going to do something more on the consumer level, if you're going to be a little more functional about it, if you have a family or dogs or things that are going to be impacted by putting stuff on your walls, I highly recommend going the bootstrapping route and just putting out things on the ground. Back when I was in high school, I took a TV production class, and oftentimes we would just throw things on the ground to make sure it was not echoing in what we were doing. Blankets and pillows and things that were not necessarily professional quality, just because there was no reason to go out of our way to buy all these expensive things and put all this stuff up that we would then have to move so that it wasn't all over our walls. And if you have a dedicated space for this and you want to invest in it, by all means, go right ahead. But I find bootstrapping it is going to be the best way to go because you already have blankets, you already have pillows, and if you don't, you should probably invest in at least a couple. We want to make sure that you are a well-rounded human, gentleman, but you have the ability to use things you already have in your house to absorb that sound. And it doesn't even just have to be blankets and pillows and stuff. You can put other objects around. Plants will, oh, you couldn't even see that. Plants are going to be able to absorb some of that sound. If you have a basket next to you, that will absorb some sound. If you have more technology around, that's going to absorb some of the sound. You're just blocking those waves from bouncing around. And so using anything is going to make it a lot better. You can get pieces of felt, you can get pillows, you can get whatever and just put it out on your desk, on your floor, on your whatever it is. Even if you need to like tack it up to your windows or to your wall, you can push it in with some thumbnails and just put blankets up. That's going to help you out as well. So it really depends on if you want to go the professional route, spend the money, and this is going to be your entirety of your career, or if you're a content creator and you want to be more functional about it. I'm a bootstrapper, but you have options.